In this video, we'll be solving the question 6 of the 2017 Core Math WASSCE questions. So let's begin with our question. A publisher prints 30,000 copies of a book at 2 Ghana cedi each and sold them for 2.76 Ghana cedi each. The publisher agrees to pay the author 10% of the selling price for the first 6,000 copies sold and 12.5% of the selling price for all copies sold in excess of 6,000. If 25,330 copies of book were sold. A. Calculate correct the nearest Ghana cedi, the total amount received by the author. II. Net profit the publisher makes after he has paid the author. B. Find correct to one decimal place the publisher's net profit as a percentage of the author's total receipt. So let's begin with the solution of our question. So prints 30,000 copies of a book at 2 cedi each. So if you are finding the cost price for the 30,000 copies, the cost price for 30,000 copies will be equal to 30,000 times the price of one book. The price of printing one book, which is 2 Ghana cedi. So our cost price becomes 60,000 Ghana cedi. Now we are told that from the question, we are told that the publisher agrees to pay the author 10% of the selling price for the first 6,000 copies sold. So the selling price for the first 6,000. Selling price for the first 6,000 copies will be equal to 6,000 times the selling price for one copy, which is 2.76. 2.76. So we will have Ghana cedi 16560.00. The publisher agrees to pay 10% of the selling price for the first 6,000. And we know the selling price for the first 6,000 is 16,560. So 10% of the selling price is paid to the author by the publisher. So then 10% of the selling price for the first 6,000 copies will be 10 over 100 times 16,560 Ghana cedi. So this cancels this. So the publisher paid 1,656 Ghana cedi to the author for the first 6,000 copies. Then we are told that he paid 12.5% of the selling price of all copies sold in excess of 6,000 to the author. So the total copies of books sold is 25,380. So 25,380. So after selling the first 6,000 copies, you would be left with 25,380 minus 6,000. And this should give us 19,380. So 19,380 copies. Now the selling price of the 19,380 copies will be 2.76 times 19,380, which should give us, this should give us 53,488 Ghana cedi point 80 pesos. Now we are told that the publisher agrees to pay 12.5% of the remaining copies sold. Publisher paid 12.5% of Ghana cedi 53,488.80. So we would have 12.5 over 100 times 53,488.80. And this should give us 6,686.10. So the publisher first paid 1,656 Ghana cedi to the author for the first 6,000 copies, and later paid 6,686.10 Ghana cedi for the remaining copies. So we can say that the total amount paid to the author is equal to 1,656. So 1,656 plus 6,686.10. 686.10. And this should give us 8,342.10. So the total amount received by the author, corrected to the nearest Ghana cedi, should be 8,342.00 Ghana cedi. All right. So that brings us to the end of question 6AI. So AII. Calculate correct to the nearest Ghana cedi the net profit the publisher makes after he has paid the author. So here we know the cost price for the 30,000 copies. And to find profit, we subtract cost price from selling price. And then we know that 25,380 copies of the book were sold. So finding the selling price for the 25,380 copies, we will have, so AII, we will have 2.76 times 25,380, and this should give us 70,048.80 Ghana cedis. The total profits made by the author should be equal to the selling price minus the cost price. And then the selling price is 70,048.80. And then our cost price is 60,000. So minus 60,000. So So total profits made by the publisher should be equal to, when you subtract 60,000 from 70,000 and 48.80, you will have 10,000 and 48.80 Ghana cedis. But we are asked to find the net profit after the publisher has made payment to the author. So we know that the publisher made a total payment of 8,342 Ghana cedi to the author. So 8,342.10. So to find the net profit made by the publisher will be equal to the total profit made minus the total amount paid to the author. So our net profit then becomes the total profit, which is 10,048.80 minus 8,342.10. So the net profit will be equal to 1,706.70. Now this will be our net profit. Corrected to the nearest Ghana cedi, we would have our net profit will be 1,707 Ghana cedis. So this brings us to the end of the question AII. So moving on to question B. It says find correct to one decimal place the publisher's net profit as a percentage of the author's total receipt. So B, net profit, which is 1,707, as a percentage of the total receipt. So total receipt is the total money given to the author, which is 8,342.10. 8,342.1 times 100%. When we do this, we should get 20.46%. Corrected to one decimal place, we have 20.5%. So this brings us to the end of the question 6. If you like this video, please subscribe. Thank you.